Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Transparent Tuesday. Hope everybody's week has been well. As I informed you guys yesterday, not yesterday, I apologize, last week, God's Wills Ministry is adopting 4 families for back to school. We already have 2 families. We're looking for 2 more. I know for most schools, it's going to be virtual and it's not going to be actually in the classroom. So even if you guys still need school supplies, like I said, um, help with the internet bill, let me know. Send me a private message. I'm not someone that helps and wants to broadcast it to everybody because I feel like it's nobody's business. So if you do need the help, don't feel ashamed. We've all been in that position. I know I have many a times. That's why it warms my heart that I'm able to be a blessing. And if you'd like to donate to that, you know, um, contact me as well. Facebook, DM me, or if you have my telephone number. Last week on Transparent Tuesday, we discussed not allowing anybody else to tell your story because they don't know your why. This week, I want to discuss making your wrongs right. Sometimes opportunities arise, and with the mistakes that we've made, or because of our journey, we have the opportunity to make a wrong right. I feel like those opportunities need to be taken. And the reason I say that is because when you have come out of a storm, you got to have a test to have a testimony. When you've come out of a desert place, when you used to be a thief or a robber, or um, let's just say you were just really disrespectful, or you were a gangbanger, you're someone that was incarcerated or in prison, or whatever your past may be. Everybody's past is different. And you give your life to God, and God has you on a journey, right? So you're not the same person that you used to be. You learn from those mistakes. You're not that person. And you start building a platform. You decide, you know what? I'm going to fully follow God. I'm going to pick up my cross. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do it the right way. And you start sharing your testimony. I've seen a lot of people rise in this season. Some people think that the pandemic is like slowing things down, but guys, people, when I tell you they're on the move, they are literally on the move. So you start building this platform, and you have a cause. Everyone's cause is different. Mine is mental health. I know someone that's doing childhood trauma. I know someone else that's the homelessness. I know someone else that's domestic violence. I know someone else has to do with prison. Everybody else is different. But you're starting to build a platform because you're no longer the person that you used to be. And when I say that, I mean, you haven't forgotten where you've come from. You know the mistakes that you've made, but you've learned from them. So you've matured, you've grown. And I would say that you're more mature in Christ than what you used to be. You have this platform, whether it's a book or a YouTube channel, or it's lives, or, whatever it may be, but your life has changed. And, when that happens, of course, that's going to be tested. All of the old things, or people that you may have wronged, they're going to come out the woodwork, and it's like, okay, let me test and see and make sure that, for example, me, Frances, is who she says she is she still the person that manipulated or lied or stole, or is not financially responsible? Is she still moving every 3 months? Let's test this. Sometimes the enemy will test you. God will give permission for you to be tested. When we go through things, it's all trust. God trusts us, whatever our situation is, whatever we're going through. So when you have that opportunity, okay, I'm going to test her. I'm going to see if she's going to be honest, or if she's going to, given the opportunity, is she going to react the same way that she reacted back in the day? For example, let's say I go to somebody's house and they just going to leave $1,000 sitting on the table. And it's a bunch of people here, but Frances is here, and we know Frances used to steal, so we gonna see what Frances do. And I look, I got over $1,000 in my account. What touch that money for? And keep pushing. They assumed that Frances was gonna be the old Frances and do, take the money, touch it, or whatever the case may be. But because I'm not that same person anymore, I would walk right by it and laugh, even if I only had a penny in my account. I know where my help comes from. I trust God. God has not failed me. Even when I did not deserve his favor or his grace, he has always showed up and he has shown out. So my point tonight is that when you're being tested or you run across people that you know that you did things wrong to in your past, don't let a title or your elevation make you to the point where you're not humble. Always make your wrong right. You never know with your apology how your apology may set somebody free. So this is Transparent Tuesday. I'm going to be very transparent with you guys. My relationship with my mom is very rocky. You know, she blames me for a lot of things that happened in her life and in my childhood. I went to go see my mom last year. She was in jail, and I went to see her. Me and Genesis just popped up, made a visit. She had no idea that we were coming. And when I sat down to see my mom, she was confused. She didn't expect for me to be there. The last conversation that we had wasn't a good one, but that's my mom and I love her. And I will always be there for her despite the fact that, you know, we have our disagreements or whatever the case may be. I will always try to help my mom in any way that I can. So I went to go see my mom and she apologized to me for blaming me for certain things. And I told her thank you, but for a minute I just sat there because I was in shock. Like, for a lot of years, even though that I know that it wasn't my fault and I was only a child, I blamed myself for a lot of things because of my mom blaming me. So when she apologized to me, it was like she opened the door to a whole new Francis. And we're supposed to forgive and we're supposed to let it go. But in some situations, well, I'm going to speak for myself. I can't speak for anybody else. Even though I have forgiven people for certain things, it's still in my heart. It's still in my mind. You know, one thing about words, when you say them, you cannot take them back. So you need to be very mindful of the things that you say to people, especially because life and death is in the power of your tongue. So you can speak life over someone or you can speak death over them. So by me being blamed all these years for what this situation, for this situation and for the past, it always made me feel less than. It always made me feel not lovable. Like, okay, if my mom is blaming me for this, knowing that it wasn't my fault and I was a kid, and to me, and I could be wrong, but I felt like a lot of the things that I went through as a kid could have been prevented, and she did not prevent them because she blamed me. So when she apologized to me, it was like she set me free in a way. I was shocked. I was overjoyed. I was thrilled. And it put a tone for our relationship on a whole different level. It made me look at my mom in a different light. It made me respect her even more because I never thought in a million years that my mom would apologize to me. My mom is a very strong-willed person. And, when she says things, that's what she means. And if her mind is dead set on something, that is how she feels. So when she apologized to me, it was like I was just set free. Like I just felt so much weight lifted off my shoulders. So that's why I say, if you're given the opportunity to make a wrong right, no matter what it is, and let me explain this to you as well. When you do things or you say things to people, you cannot control how they feel. Their feelings is, that they have the right to feel however they feel. You might have said something and not meant it in a certain way, or given a situation. I always say there's three truths to every situation. For example, my truth, my mom's truth, and God's truth. My mom cannot control how she made me feel in our situation. She can control how she treated me. She can control the words that she said to me. But she cannot control how she made me feel. So with that being said, if someone feels a certain type of way based on what you said to them, how you treated them, you never know what that apology can do for them. You never know what righting your wrong can set somebody else free. You don't even know, because of you doing that, being woman enough or being man enough, what doors or what blessings or what grace that might open for you. Just because you have a title, you're a pastor, you're a bishop, you're an author, you're a speaker, you're a prophet, you still need to be humble. You still need to have a heart of God. You still need to, you're not without, blemish. You're not better than. You're not, oh, that's my past. Oh, well, who cares? I don't need to make it better. Well, I'm living in this $1,000,000 mansion now, or I'm doing all of these things. So who cares about them, what they think or how they feel? It's important. You never know when you're entertaining an angel. Back in the day when I was a kid, I was always taught, you treat people how you want to be treated. So you may do wrong person wrong. And then you run across this person and you have the opportunity to apologize to them and to make it right. And you pass that opportunity up. And then you run into somebody else that might have done you wrong or done someone very close to you wrong that you love, and you're upset and you're angry and you feel the type of way because they don't make it right. But what about you? What about you making your wrongs right? I am a changed person. I'm not who I used to be. I try my best every day to be better than I was the day before. I am a work in progress. I am trying to build an empire to leave for my children. I am trying to make my testimony save souls, to let people know that they're not the only ones. But I never think that I'm better. I never forget about my mistakes. I don't forget where I came from. I do feel that it was necessary for me to be who I am today, to appreciate things, to value relationships, to discern people, to not just jump into anything and call everybody friend, or think that everybody's my friend, or to trust everybody with anything. But I'm not too big to say that I apologize. I'm not too big to try to right my wrong. I have a very big heart and I try my best to do right and to help anybody that I can. I never want my growth to mislead or distract anyone to think, okay, Frances thinks that she's better, or Frances holds her nose up. No. The way that I feel is we were all made the same. God made all of us, right? He just made us different sizes, different skin tones, different hair texture, different journeys in life. But to me, we were all created by the same person, and we all have choices in life. When we all decide to go on different paths, that's what makes us different. That's what makes us unique. It's something unique and special about everyone, but no one's better than anyone else. I was given the opportunity. I have actually been given several opportunities to right a lot of wrongs that I've done, and I've taken advantage of that because I know how it felt when I was wronged and the apology came to me. In some situations, some people are not going to get that apology, and you shouldn't hold on to the weight or the baggage. Keep moving forward in life. Keep praying for that person. Try to let it go. I know in some situations it's hard, especially when it's traumatizing situations. And the crazy thing is, and this might sound weird, but you never know why somebody did something. You don't know what their why is. All you know is, you feel like a victim, and why did they do this to me? And sometimes you'll never know why, but you don't know what they're going through. You don't know if they're repeating a behavior because they were a victim. You don't know if this is like a survival of the fittest type of thing. Like, okay, if I don't do this, take this food, steal this money, break in this house, whatever, I might not be able to put diapers on my baby. I might not be able to feed my family or pay that bill. You don't know their why. So pray for them. It's hard sometimes to forgive people, especially if they don't apologize to you. But forgiving them doesn't necessarily do something for them. More, it does something for yourself. And also in the word, it says to forgive those as we want God to forgive us. We have to forgive, right? It's a process. It's a freedom in a sense, because when you harbor on to hate, to anger, to dislike, to negativity, that person that wronged you can be living their life and not thinking twice about you. But you're so angry and you're so upset, you're not able to live your life to the fullest potential because you're holding on to something so long ago. I think it's important to right your wrongs when you can. I think that it's important to forgive. And even so, I think it's more important to pray. I think that as a society, we need to get out of taking our problems to the next person. Yes, there are a lot of people that are wise and that are older and they have experience. And, age doesn't mean anything. I'm 32 years old and I feel like thus far in my life, I've been through, experienced a lot. So I can advise on things that I've been through. But I think that if we just took that 1 second to take that situation to prayer before we reacted, and as I always tell you guys, a lot of things that I talk about, God is dealing with me with, or I'm learning as I'm telling you guys. If we take that 1 second to pray before we explode or before we go gossiping, we never know how that situation is going to turn out. Because a lot of times it's not the actual person. It could be something that they're going through, their circumstances, or it could be spirits or demons on them or chasing them. You never know. You never know what is going on with somebody when those doors are closed. But what I tell you is that you don't want anything harboring inside of you. You want everything cleansed, cleared. Karma is real, and everyone has their day. They have to pay for the things that they've done. So even if you don't get that apology, just know they didn't get off scot-free. In some type of way, God is dealing with it. But it's important to take the time, step outside of the box. We, a lot of times, well, I'm not going to say we, I'm going to say Francis. I have been guilty of thinking of myself and my needs and being selfish. But now that I'm learning to step outside of the box and look at the whole situation and everyone involved and how people connected can be affected, my decision making is becoming better. I'm very transparent. Some things I was ashamed of. I'm no longer ashamed of it because I've dealt with it. I've had to forgive myself. And that's something that is really important. Is you have to forgive yourself for the mistakes that you make. You can make those wrongs right and go and apologize to the people, settle the score, do whatever you got to do, and everything's good with them. And then you get home and you close that door and you can't even look at yourself in the mirror. Or you don't forgive yourself or you feel like you're not worthy. I've experienced that. I'm still in the process of learning how to forgive myself for some things that I've done in the past because of the way that I've hurt people that I love and not my intentions. But that was a part of me learning me and growing and getting to where I'm at right now. I still haven't arrived. I still have a lot of growing and maturing and things that I need to do. But I'm able to look myself in the mirror and say, you know what, Francis? You made those mistakes. You've learned from them. You're not that same person anymore. And you've asked for forgiveness. It's up to them if they choose to forgive you or not. But the most important thing is to forgive yourself. Always forgive yourself. Don't be angry with yourself over past things that you've done. A process. Life is learning. We have the Bible and it gives us guidelines and instructions on certain things, but we still have to learn. There's no book on how to be a parent. The Bible tells us to raise them up as the way they should go, and they're supposed to honor their mother and their father, those things. But in day-to-day raising and instructions and running the household and all of these things that are a part of life, if you were not taught, that's something that you have to trial and error and learn. Do not hate yourself for part of the process. Everything is part of the process. Don't hate yourself for that. Learn to forgive yourself. Learn to forgive those that is a part of your process and they may have wronged you. Pray for them. Pray for yourself. Be able to look at yourself in the mirror and know that you're important, that you're loved, that you're worthy. My goal is to see myself how God sees me. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. At first, I wasn't able to look in the mirror. I wasn't able to do that because, I've done a lot of wrong. I made a lot of mistakes. And most importantly, my children have suffered a lot because of the things that I've done in my past. So as a mother, it was hard for me to get past that. And through prayer and, the foundation that I have, everyone knows it takes a village. I have a village in myself. I have a coach. I have mom. I have, accountability partners. I have spiritual guides. Like, Francis is a work in progress, continuing to learn, continuing to figure it out, continuing to grow in the hopes that I'm able to teach someone else. My oldest son in 2 years will be going to college. In 2 years, my goal is to make sure he knows how to balance a checkbook, that he knows the importance of credit. He already knows how to wash his clothes and to clean and cook and different things like that. But all of the things that I was not taught, my husband and I are teaching him. So when he gets off in this world, he's not starting from ground zero. He has a little bit of a stepping stone. Right your wrongs if you're able to. Because what you would hate is for someone that you wronged to pass away and you were never given the opportunity to tell them that you apologize. Or for you to find out that you did something wrong to somebody and it's a cause for them to harm somebody else. Hurt people hurt people. A lot of times, from what I'm learning in school, a lot of child molesters, gang bangers, rapists, murderers, they were traumatized or it happened to them. No one helped them healed. No one apologized to them. And then sometimes when it's in the family, it's something that is like swept under the rug that nobody wants to talk about, or, you're told to shut up or that you're a liar. How do you heal from that? Heal from a family member hurting you or touching you or, whatever the case may be. And you're being told to shut up, to act as if it didn't happen or that you're a liar. Where's the healing process? So some people are not able to handle that. They did not heal and they turn around and they do it to someone else. It's a repeating cycle. So if you're able to fix any wrongs that you've done, if you're able to help anybody heal, take the time and do it. You would be surprised how helping someone else will help you. You'll be surprised how that apology to someone else will take weight and pressure off of yourself. The days we're living in is short. People are dying left and right. Take advantage of all the opportunities you have to tell someone that you love them, to tell someone how important they are. Go see that family member you haven't seen in a while. Call, make amends if you can with that sister, that brother, that aunt, that uncle, baby daddy, baby mama, mother of your children, father of your children. Make it right, because you never know when their last breath is going to be. You don't want to be holding on to that guilt. My great-grandmother passed away when I moved up here. And the last time I saw her before I moved to the high desert, it wasn't good. I was jealous of her relationship with my dad. And because of that, I had like a grudge towards her. So even though I was trying to get to know her and learn her, I still had a grudge. So we always bumped heads because it was like I was fighting for my dad's attention when it came down to her. So I moved to the high desert. When did I move up here? I think it was 2014 when I got married. Yeah, 2014, 2016. January 10, 2014, we moved to the high desert. I would get phone calls from my aunt, from my nana, telling me come have girls' time. And I did not go because at the time it would upset my ex-husband. He was like, we just moved up here. I didn't come up here for you to be hanging out and this and that. I could have stayed down the hill with my family. Excuse me. So I didn't go. One night I got a call. Mother wants you. Let's have girl time. I did not go. The next day I got the phone call that she passed away. I never had the opportunity to apologize to her from the way we used to bump heads. And I take full responsibility of that. My daughter's middle name is Ruby Ann. Ruby was mother's name. For, I'd say, in the first 6 months after her death, I used to just go and just sit and just talk to her because I held that guilt because I wasn't able to make it right. I had the opportunity. My family members kept calling, Nope, come have girl time, come have girl time. And I didn't take advantage of that. I did not. And I don't know how she felt knowing that I was there. She told me she was happy that I was home. And I didn't spend the time with her that I should have. I've dealing with that. I've forgiven myself with it, but it's still hard for me. I'm it hurts. I wish if I had the opportunity, I would go spend that time with her. I would apologize to her. I would try to get to know her without any type of anything blocking it. That's a feeling that you don't want to have. Right your wrongs if you're able to. You guys have a blessed evening. Please donate to this back to school drive that we're doing. The pandemic is affecting a lot of people in different ways. If you know somebody that can use the help, please send them my way. If you have not gotten your copy of Marrying Outside of God's Will, make sure you do or bless somebody else with it. It's not only for women, it's for men as well. It's not just about marriage. I went through a lot, and it's my life. It's all truth. Nothing is fiction except I made up the names of the characters in the book. The experiences are real. A lot of people have an assumption about Francis, but they don't really know. Marrying Outside of God's Will give you a glimpse. It doesn't tell you everything, but it will give you a glimpse, and you never know how to transform your life. You guys have a blessed evening, and thank you.